Hey everybody, I'm Robert E. Woods III, and you're listening to the Knight's Tale podcast. In this podcast, I share some of my strategies regarding mindset. So I've spoken a little bit about some of my dark days, but if you've noticed, pretty much every single incredibly successful person has gone through some sort of dark time. You know, Jay-Z, Oprah, Drake, Grant Cardone, Nipsey Hussle, Rick Ross. Those are just a few of my personal favorites. So, with that in mind, I think part of the beauty of life is that whenever we hit that point, we can think to ourselves, wow, if this were a book, I'm like right around the corner from the good part. And it's simple, but it's not easy to do, but we can plan our success. You can pick up a pen and write a new chapter for yourself. So I'm going to play a clip of a person in the real estate industry whose story really inspires me personally. His name is Maxwell. So about 2 or 3 years ago, his startup failed and he ended up living back in his mom's house. And during this dark time, he learned about wholesaling real estate from his friend's father. So since then, he's gone on to make more than $2 million as a real estate investor and flipper. And he gives back by hosting meetup events for people interested in replicating his playbook for success. So in one of the recent meetups, listen to a woman in the audience ask Max about his mindset when he went through those dark days, and then listen to his answer.
I really would like to know what was your mindset when you knew, I heard the story about hearing about wholesaling from your best friend's brother. Mm-hmm. You left the house, locked yourself in a room several weeks.
Yeah.
Where was your mindset?
I was at a place of rock bottom. Wow. 30 years old, moving back in with my mother was not a place I wanted to be, especially when I was, somewhat doing okay before. I knew that something had to change, and I knew it wasn't my hustle, because I was always a hustler. It was my mindset, and that's where I always tell people, I can tell you exactly what to do to go out there and make $3 million a year right now in this room. But if you don't have the computer chip, the program in your head to receive this information, you will not do anything with it. I literally started to think everything in abundance. Like, there's nothing I can't do.
What you say?
Like, really, there's nothing that I can't do. I used to, how many of you used to pray for a 6-figure job?
Right.
I used to be like, man, I'm from the South. Y'all get $20 an hour to do anything, but up here. But, so I used to, back in the days, you used to say, man, I don't want a 6-figure job and be okay. And then you literally start looking at, you change your circle, and you don't know, you know that 6 figures is nothing.
6 figures in Boston, you're middle class.
Yes.
I mean,
at best.
At best.
Like, you're barely getting by.
So when I started changing who I hung around in my mindset and watching different things, I literally started thinking that it didn't make any sense, right? Now, if I don't do, I'll be honest, if I don't do 100K a week, it don't make sense, right? So that's the mind shift change in just 2.5 years. And that's how you have to go back to just changing what's here. And once you change what's in between your ears, then you can receive, because all this information is out there for free.
Yep.
I learned it for free. And that's why I don't have a course to really, let me put this out. I don't have a course because I'm not a course type. I wouldn't learn from a course, essentially, right? But people do learn from courses. Some people do have to go through courses. So there are good courses out there. But you can kickstart this just from the YouTube. Like most of you, that's how you got here. You can kickstart it, and then you see the opportunity to invest in yourself and take it to the next level, right? But a lot of people never educate themselves. Now, I spend $200,000 a year just in education, just on myself. Why? Because when you make X amount of dollars, it doesn't matter. So I pour that back into me, and that's how you should start doing it yourself.
Absolutely.
100%. So change your mindset. That's the biggest thing, is to change that. Anybody here can do this. If I can, 2 immigrant parents that come from Jamaica, that come to America, I'm a first generation American that barely passed high school, to get to the point where I'm financially blessed and independent, anybody in this room can do it if you just believe that you actually can.
That is an example of a determined human being. I have another episode where I talk about letting obsession take control, but he got obsessed with the idea of wholesaling real estate, and he used it as a tool to help him change his circumstances. Now, along the way, he's had people join his team in order to help him become more successful, but he couldn't have done that from his mom's house. He got up and got after it. It didn't matter that he comes from a disenfranchised social group. It didn't matter that he was depressed and had no money and had his company fail. It didn't matter because he decided to act in a way that yielded him positive results. So this is an example of when those dark days become so overwhelming that you have no choice but to write a new chapter. And he did it. So I'm really happy that people like him are inspiring people like myself. So I just wanted to share a kernel of inspiration with you because it definitely inspired me. So as always, feel free to like and subscribe or comment so other people can find this message. And thank you so much for listening to the Knight's Tale podcast.